So I'm going to show you how to fold my Origami Dragon. It isn't super complicated, but it's a little more complicated than most of the stuff I make. You start off with any square paper. You can do it with really any size, but I prefer something kind of medium sized. If you get too big, then it becomes sort of a pain in the ass, but whatever. Start off with just 2 diagonal folds and crease it on both sides, and then the 2 horizontal and vertical folds, and again crease it on both sides. It's important, just like with any other base fold, that these be pretty precise, or you're going to have some problems later on. Next up, you'll want to make the bird base. You can do that with really any. There's different ways to make the bird base, but I always go it's a little bit slower but more precise, and that's to do each of these individually. But if you have another way you can do it, then it doesn't really matter how you get to the bird base. And for those of you who don't know, it's you're taking the outer edge, any outer edge of the square here, and folding it into this midline here, like this. It helps to sort of fold it into a triangle first, like that. And you're going to do this for all of it, all the sides, so all 4, twice. So these are the base folds for the bird base. Next up, you'll take it and turn it into the bird base, which is pretty simple. If you've done origami much before, you know how to do that, I hope. And if not, probably easier to look up a bird base video than it is to learn from me. But yeah. So there's your bird base. Next up is where it gets a little bit different from just like a normal bird. You take this point here and you'll fold it over with a line along here until it hits this line between these two. So if you kind of imagine an invisible line between these 2 points, so like this. Like that. And you want to make sure that this line and this line along here are parallel. Unfold that, flip it over, same thing on the other side, and then change the direction of it and do it here. And then you unfold the whole thing, so it looks like this, and you will now have a square in the middle. So, sorry, the lighting's kind of bad. Now take it and you fold these in. Like that. Put it back together, right? And compress this middle here. Cool. Next up, you take each of these 4 corners that you now have, and you will fold them in like this. Right? And on the other side also, like that. And of course, all 4 of them. These are the beginning of your dragon's legs. Awesome. Now take it and fold it like this so that you can't see the folds you just did, and fold this flap here up, this flap here up. Right. Next up, you will take this edge here, right there, and fold it into this midline, and then this edge here and fold it into this midline, like so. Right, make sure you unfold it afterwards, you don't want to leave it that way. Same thing on both sides. There. Next up is sort of a compression where you do this one. Right. So you get this, and again on the other side. Awesome. Those are your wings, or those will be your wings. Next up, take this and open it up. Fold these up there, and open this side up, and fold it up as well. Easy enough. Now, you will take this and compress it between these two, and you want to make sure that along this top line, along this top here, it's all pretty flat. Right? So it looks kind of weird now, but just trust me, you'll get there. Next up, you will take just this one, soon this one, but for now just this one, and fold it in so that as if there was a line here, you'll fold the crease will be here, sorry. So like this. And you'll also crease along here so that when you fold this closed, you see it forms a pretty nice little line there. And then the same thing on this side. Boom. Now, do the same thing to this corner. This flap, sorry. Next up, you will take each of these 4 sort of small flaps, which will be the legs, and fold them out this way at a right angle to the 2 flaps that you were just working on. So you get this kind of weird, crazy shape, which actually kind of cool on its own, but not when we're done. Next up, we're going to do the wings. So these are right here and right here. Those are your wings. This is your head or tail, I guess, and this is your head or tail, the other one. I guess you could make it with 2 heads if you wanted to, but I don't. Now, take one wing and fold it up, or I guess both, right? So it looks like this, and fold it in along here. Now you don't want it to be all the way in, you just want it to be about halfway. So you can see you want it to come to a solid point at the end. So you want it to look like this, right? Do that for all 4 wing flaps. And you want them to be pretty even, because otherwise your dragon will have weird, wonky, uneven wings. And who would want a wonky dragon? Right. Next up, fold the wings down. About there. And I like to do a little right there. I don't remember what that fold is called, but that. A little bit of compression on these legs. And you see these will make wings that when you pull them back will go out like in the direction. Makes them a little more directional, makes your dragon seem like it's moving, which is sort of cool. Next we're going to do the head. It's pretty simple. You do a fold up like this, right here at the base. So that's the neck. And then I always do it just like about 1 finger's width up, but you can do it however how you want, depending on how long you want the neck. There. And then that'll be your head, sort of. And then one more fold back with a little bit over to give your dragon kind of a cool looking horn, and then tilt that up a little bit, see? That'll give your dragon his cool horn. And sometimes you can do that tilted up, or you can do it tilted down, whatever you want. Now the tail, a little bit more complicated, but not much. Once again, same thing with the head. Start off with a fold up like this. And I wish I remembered the names for these folds. Right? And then down. Oops. Like that, see? And then again, back up. And back down. And you just keep going up and down, folding it in until you get to the end of the tail. And this will give it a really cool ridged tail shape. Makes it look really, really intricate, but it's actually not. Now this part's a little bit tricky, but you just want to make sure that you don't squish it too quickly, but compress these and you'll get this cool shape like this, see? And you can, what I like to do is twist the tail here at the end to give him a little tail spike. Right? We're almost done. Next up, take these legs and sort of push them in like this, and then fold them down here so his legs are a little more centralized. The last thing I like to do is right on the corners of these wings, fold it like this, one up, and then just twist the wings up. Fold that back a bit. And do that on both sides now. And you see that gives your dragon a little bit more direction. And there you have it. That is the Origami Dragon. Pretty cool stuff. I love your feedback. Thank you.